been a while, and I have a lot of ideas for videos, or videos in different stages, from partially filmed to partially edited, and there's been something I've been butting up against that I can't quite name. I think partially because my ideas are more ambitious, and also I've become a little camera shy since it's been so long since I've spoken to you and like made tea or anything like that. So I just wanted to break the ice, reintroduce myself, see how you're doing, and there's more coming, but this is the appetizer for it, I suppose. I haven't made myself tea in a while, so today I wanted to begin by making myself matcha, and then having it with dark chocolate cake, which I've been craving. This is my favorite matcha. It's a Korean matcha, and it's just perfectly balanced. It's really earthy, but not too grassy. I always enjoy it. What's been on my mind a lot lately, and I've been talking about it with friends and also on Instagram some as well, is the idea of slow. And I know the past year everyone had to reassess, slow down, etc., etc., and this can be an offshoot of that, but it also feels a little bit different. And what I mean by that is I've not just been slowing down as in reflecting more, but I've been noticing how my body reacts to things, and essentially what it prefers. And whenever I'm feeling, I suppose, like depressed, unsure, having a hard day, tough, reflective, moody, melancholic, what I'll do is I'll take everything extremely slow. And this sounds kind of silly, but it really does help. So for example, I will take a walk really early in the morning. At my best, I get up around like 5 a.m. because I love twilight and watching dawn happen and everything start to wake up. So when I take my walk, what I'll do is I will walk so incredibly slowly, like one foot in front of the other, and just almost be extremely conscious of every movement, and I'm almost in slow motion in that sense. And you know, it might take me half an hour to walk around the block or longer, and the slower you are, the better it is. In a way, it feels like it's rebooting my whole system. Like it's suppressing all the buzz, everything that's going on, and it just puts it in standstill, reboots it, and so that I become more awake to everything around me. I'm listening a lot more, I'm paying attention to the birds, etc., etc. And so that's how I'll begin, with the very, very slow. Back to the slow. So that will be the beginning. Another thing I'll do is I will make myself tea. I will make myself, you know, breakfast, lunch, dinner, any meal. Make sure the table is completely cleaned off. I'll really set out all the dishes. So for example, like today, I have all of my good dishes out, and I can often not take that time because I'll be thinking about having to wash them afterwards, having to put them away, etc., etc. But when I treat myself in the way that I would treat a guest at my house, you know, get everything out, not worry about the cleanup, it's about the presentation, the enjoyment, all of that, the ritual. It really feels good because I realized that I would do it for other people, but then I wouldn't give myself the same treatment. And I think subliminally that really wears on you, and it's very strange that I had this reckoning that I was not treating myself as well as I would treat others. And so there's some changes this year that I've done, and essentially I spoil myself. I started thinking of myself in the third person almost, and I don't know if I've talked about this before, but what I'll do is I'll think about myself in the third person, and essentially I am the caretaker for Elizabeth. What that means is that I am responsible for making sure she's fed really well, she's challenged, she reads a lot, she has herself surrounded with beautiful things, she's creative, she enjoys her friends, essentially that she enjoys her life, pursues goals, listens to her body, all of those things. And something about not thinking it's me, but that instead I'm the caretaker for this person has been like a life hack. It has changed things, and I treat myself a lot better. And it's been really exciting, and I'm really curious to see how I think and behave in 6 months, a year, etc., because of, I don't know, it's like the ultimate life hack, even though I hate saying that word. But anyway, so part of realizing what I need, or what me as the caretaker of Elizabeth needs, is slowing down. And for example, you know when your screen time is really high, but then you have a week or a few days, however long, where you're not on your screen at all, and the first couple days might be difficult, but then after that it becomes so much easier, and you don't need it as much. You're not even looking for that fix of just scrolling on your phone. It's sort of like that. Your senses, which may have been dulled, are reawakened. And that also fits in with, I grapple a lot with being productive and feeling guilt over not getting enough done, or not being as productive, efficient, etc., as I should be. And so slow fits into that in the way that, I guess, reimagining everything comes in its own time, and when I need to rest, I'll rest and attempt not to feel guilty about it, or that I'm being lazy, etc. Especially in Western culture, we're conditioned to feel that taking time off, resting, any of that is time where you should, one, zone out, which I don't agree with, or that it's lazy or inappropriate, which I also don't agree with. And what I've noticed is when I take that time to slow down, I've been trying to track it to see if it has a cyclical motion, or if it has any pattern to it. And I'll get back to you on that, because I don't have anything specific to say yet, but hopefully I will soon. I'm still in experiment phase. And so when I rest, I can feel I want to be internal, I want to be doing my own thing, spending a lot of time alone, kind of getting lost in my own world. And that's sort of a primordial soup of new things start to cook in my brain and in my body, and it's all sort of a preparation for when my body flips and I have these periods of time where I feel really expansive, extremely social, I just want to share things. And I notice this in myself a lot. I used to think that it was it's always partially brain chemistry, right? But when I was younger, I was not officially diagnosed as bipolar, but it was suggested to me by a doctor. And in that way, it almost feels that these ebbs and flows, these waves, are something you're having to deal with in a negative way, or suppress, or try to control. And instead, I've been considering it as just my natural tempo. So when it's time for slow, when it's time for rest, I fully enjoy it and do all the restful things I want. Walk really slow, take baths, take showers, make myself tea, read books, lay around, and then when my body is finished resting, it'll switch and I'll have this period where I'm extremely expansive outward. That means that I'm working in the studio 12 or 15 hours a day and I don't feel tired. I don't feel like I'm burning out, because it's like my energy has saved up reserves. And essentially doing things slow has shown me that everything can come in its own time when it's ready. So if I'm just switching out of a period of hibernation back into expansiveness. So from the ebb to the flow, and I'm wanting to share this with you. I'm wanting to be out and about. And doing things slow and relishing that helps with all of those things. And even if they seem a bit scattered in the way that I've explained it, it all feels very connected in the way things are happening. And it's been so long since I've spoken to you, and since I am going through this transition back to expansive, I feel so excited, and internally my body feels buzzy, and I can't wait to share these things with you and see how you're feeling. Maybe this sounds strange, or maybe not. But when I make tea with you, I have dessert, and we can sit down and chat. I really feel like these are the things I share with my friends, or how I'm feeling internally, and it feels really nice to get to express it instead of just I guess getting away from how static text messages or short interactions can be, and this gives me a longer format to talk and then also gauge how you are feeling as well. But with slowness, one thing I wanted to say is you start to notice, bear with me if it feels really boring at first. You kind of have to get into the rhythm of it. But once you give yourself some time, you're not, okay, so when you're doing this, you're focused on it, right? So relax but focused. You're not listening to music. You're not scrolling on your phone. You're not putting so much concentrated energy into oh, I have to walk slow. It's relax and enjoy, but be paying attention to what's going on, and you'll realize all of these things look really beautiful. When I'm in this state, I'm washing dishes, and washing dishes can be really beautiful, the way the bubbles catch the light, and all of these beautiful dishes are going from used to pristine again in the water, the texture of the water rippling over the surfaces. So even it's within the simple becomes this expansive, humble beauty. And that can be really great, especially when you're not feeling great, especially when you're down, to recognize how much there is to offer, and that even in the most simple tasks that are chores, you can see entire worlds blossom. And I've seen a lot of people talk about breath work, different ways of paying attention to the breath to calm yourself down, to put yourself to sleep, etc., etc. And I'm by no means an expert in this. This is just what I've been doing personally. Is I don't like breathing in, holding, and breathing out, but what I will do is I will breathe in very slowly, and then once it reaches like a peak of fullness, or that I've expanded my diaphragm the most, I'm just very slowly breathing out. So you're not trying to get the biggest breath, you're not trying to hold the most in, it's just being slow, being intentional, and relaxed with it. And that makes me feel so calm. It makes me feel that I am taking in the world. And since it's not my typical rhythm of breathing, my body adapts to it. It's like, something's going on here, we need to pay attention, let's see what's going on. And once it reaches an equilibrium there, my whole body gets into a slow motion, just like with walking, just like with washing the dishes. Everything seems more luminous, everything is more slow, but everything is more full. And as my body is adapting to the heat wave we're getting in Los Angeles right now, I don't know about you, but on hot days, especially the beginning of summer, my body takes time to adjust, and it feels like it's not trudging through mud, because I don't want to give that interpretation, but everything's more sluggish. And so it's like my body telling me, calm down, it's going to take some time to acclimate to this weather, and just enjoy the change in experience. And so I guess that that was the inception of why I was interested in talking to you today, is thinking about how hot this day is and how it is making me go slower, and how the slowing down can affect you in such a positive way. And I'm like rambling now, so I've come to, the natural conclusion of the stuff I wanted to talk to you about. And I have some stuff coming. I know that I've talked on Instagram a little bit about it, thinking about some videos that are very focused on visuals and sounds to form almost like a visual meditation, or maybe trying to essentially take you through this method of slowness and stuff like that. But if there's anything that you're interested in seeing from me, hearing from me, any topics, I usually, when I do like questions and answers on Instagram, I will hear some questions that are really great, and I have those videos coming up. But please let me know below. I am coming back to YouTube, and there's some stuff that's been going on the last several months that I can't talk about yet per se, but I'm finally coming to the end of this tunnel, and I'm awake again to some stuff going on. Essentially, I'm back, and I'd love to hear from you. How are you doing? What things have felt like big successes, and what things are you struggling with? Let's chat.